There he is, Joe Hollywood.
Mr. Big Shot Agent.
You think he represents Hulk Hogan?
No way.
Then he ain't that big, is he?
Ever since we heard about Happy Gilmore 2, fans have been hoping for Adam Sandler to make Grown Ups 3, but that sequel hasn't happened in over a decade. While Sandler surprises us every now and then with more serious roles, like in Uncut Gems, it's clear he loves bringing together his comedy crew for fun and laughs. Just look at movies like I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry and the Grown Ups films. So, let's dive into what we know about Grown Ups 3. The original 2010 movie had Sandler, Chris Rock, Kevin James, David Spade, and Rob Schneider playing childhood buddies who reunite and get into all sorts of trouble. The film didn't get the best reviews, but it made a lot of money, so they got the gang back together for Grown Ups 2 in 2013, though Schneider didn't return. Despite even worse reviews, Grown Ups 2 still did well at the box office. While it's not the kind of story that demands a trilogy, the success of the series pretty much guarantees that Grown Ups 3 would be a hit. Grown Ups 3 may not have an official storyline yet, but there's a pretty great script floating around that could take the franchise in a bold new direction. Comedian and writer Tom Scharpling, a huge fan of the original Grown Ups movies and Adam Sandler's Sandlerverse, created a script that went viral for all the unexpected twists it brings to the series. What's wild is that Scharpling wrote it just for fun, with no expectations, but the concept got everyone talking. His version of Grown Ups 3 starts off like any other Sandler comedy, but then it takes a dark turn, becoming a slasher thriller. The meta-narrative reveals that the film is actually about Sandler and the gang filming the third installment, with a killer chasing them around, kinda like a metaphor for how they're getting older and watching their dreams fade. While the tone is more serious than the usual Sandler fare, it still keeps the humor intact and could actually work as a real Grown Ups 3. Despite the viral success of the script, though, it seems like Sandler and his production company, Happy Madison, aren't in a hurry to make it. The fact that they've been cranking out Netflix comedies but haven't considered Grown Ups 3 yet shows that it's not a priority at the moment. However, this new direction might be exactly what the franchise needs. Let's be real, by the time Grown Ups 2 rolled around, even the star-studded cast couldn't keep things fresh. The idea of turning Grown Ups 3 into a slasher flick feels like a fun way to shake things up. What makes this slasher idea even more likely is that many of the actors involved in the first two films have started taking on more serious roles. Sandler's been earning critical acclaim for his roles in Uncut Gems and Hustle. Chris Rock has been branching out with projects like Fargo and Rustin, and Kevin James even did a turn in the sports drama Home Team. Some of these guys have already dipped their toes into the horror genre, with Rock starring in Spiral and James in Becky. It feels like the actors are moving in a more diverse direction with their careers, so they might be more open to a risky but creative pivot for Grown Ups 3. Plus, the slasher angle could explain why Rob Schneider wasn't in Grown Ups 2. Maybe his character was the first victim of the killer. Sandler himself seems to be getting more comfortable with the idea of sequels lately. While Grown Ups 2 was his first ever sequel, after that, he's been more open to revisiting his past roles. He recently returned for Murder Mystery 2 with Jennifer Aniston, and of course, Happy Gilmore 2 is on the way. Despite his growing interest in more mature projects, like the upcoming Noah Baumbach movie with George Clooney, Sandler's willingness to revisit his classic comedies gives fans hope that Grown Ups 3 might not be off the table after all. With the success of the first two Grown Ups films, it's easy to imagine that a third movie could be a big hit if done right, especially if it takes a more creative and unexpected approach like Scharpling's script.
Hey, Roxanne, remember Rob, the guy I always tell you about, Rob?
Of course, the kid who didn't hit puberty till he was 19, right?
Yeah.
While it seems Grown Ups 3 might not be on the immediate horizon for Adam Sandler, he's certainly keeping busy with a sequel that fans have long been waiting for, Happy Gilmore 2. Sandler dropped a teaser on Christmas 2024, and it's already stirring up excitement. In the teaser, he reprises his iconic role as the quirky, hockey-loving golfer, and it's clear that fans are in for another round of laughs and ridiculous antics. What makes this sequel particularly intriguing is the buzz around potential special guest stars. Christopher McDonald, who played the villainous Shooter McGavin in the original, confirmed that Sandler showed him an early script for the new film, and it sounds like Happy Gilmore 2 will be packed with cameos. The sequel is set to be released in 2025, with Sandler confirmed to return as the titular character. We've also gotten a glimpse of what to expect in terms of cameos, with NFL star Travis Kelce appearing in the teaser, alongside hints of pro golfers joining the film. The list of names doesn't stop there. Sandler also teased the involvement of Benny Safdie, who's set for a juicy part in the sequel. Along with McDonald's return as Shooter, the film will also feature Bad Bunny, whose role remains a mystery, as well as Margaret Qualley, Nick Swardson, Scott Mescudi, and pro wrestler Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Even with all these exciting new additions, the heart of the film will still be Sandler's quirky take on Happy Gilmore. The sequel script is being written by Sandler and his longtime collaborator, Tim Herlihy, and the project will be produced by Happy Madison, Sandler's production company, which is named after both Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison. With Netflix officially ordering the film, Sandler's deal with the streaming giant continues to deliver both nostalgic fan favorites and fresh projects. Happy Gilmore 2 is shaping up to be one of his most highly anticipated returns, not just for Sandler fans, but for anyone who's loved his work throughout the years. As of now, there's been no word on what direction Grown Ups 3 would take if it ever comes to life. The first film had the childhood friends reuniting for their old basketball coach's funeral, and the sequel saw them back in their hometown enjoying a carefree summer. If the third movie happens, it would probably find some reason to bring the gang back together, maybe a vacation or a wedding, which would be a perfect setup for more goofy antics from these characters who never really seem to grow up. That said, Grown Ups 3 could also totally break the mold and go in a different direction. Since it's been years since the last installment, maybe the film will throw in an unexpected twist for their reunion, perhaps the passing of one of the group, or even a child's wedding. While these movies aren't exactly known for their depth, Grown Ups 3 could finally let the characters grow up a bit. It might even show them learning to embrace some adult responsibilities as their kids start becoming adults themselves. That would add a little heart to the comedy, showing that even the most immature characters can eventually evolve. And that wraps up today's video. If you want to stay updated on all the latest movie news, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. By doing so, you'll stay in the loop with all our future updates. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one. Remember, we're always open to your suggestions for future videos, so feel free to leave them in the comments below.